You mentioned it quite bluntly there that everybody has somebody that inspires them to do something, and in the music industry as well.
Well, musicians do.
Yeah, absolutely. Who were those people for you?
Well, it's a long list of people.
I don't mind.
The young Elvis was a key factor to me and all my friends. He was our hero, and in fact, I often wondered what it was about the young Elvis, because I hated the older Elvis, the Las Vegas one, the one that became perpetuated in the image of the rhinestones and the flared trousers and the high collars and the Vegas and the lousy movies. And I often wondered what it was that made that so successful, as opposed to the young Elvis, which was infinitely more successful in terms of touching people. And it was all about packaging and image. But I remember hearing Dame Kiri Te Kanawa, who was one of New Zealand's finest opera singers, being interviewed on a television show in England, and she was asked the question, what's the finest voice you've ever heard? And we were all expecting her to say Maria Callas or Caruso or Pavarotti or any of the great opera singers, and she said the young Elvis Presley was absolutely, a lot of us think that way, because it was such a natural voice and had such tone and quality, and it's a rare thing when you are touched by somebody like that. Of course, there was also Little Richard, and there were also Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers, and then as you grow up, you get an interest in more directions. So the blues became a big influence on me, and a lot of Howlin' Wolf and Sonny Boy Williamson, John Lee Hooker, and a lot of the early Delta blues, and then it migrated up in Mississippi to Chicago, and a lot of the Chicago blues became more commercial. Jazz, then got very much into Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, and Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles. We moved up into the Tamla stuff, and I was just full of admiration for great singers, and there were some homegrown ones like Cliff Bennett, and who were made a big impression on me. He was just I turned up at Iceworth a couple of weeks ago. That's Dusty Springfield. I mean, there's a million people that inspired me, but it all started, I think, probably the spark was lit by the young Elvis Presley.
And you've got the most recent album out from Purple. It's for people that haven't heard it yet. How would you categorise it as an album? Everybody knows the classic albums, but you play so much new music as well, which I think is critically important to any band. So how would you describe it to people who haven't yet heard it?
Well, Rapture of the Deep is the current album, and every Purple album has been recorded for one reason only, and that's to provide new material for the stage show. That's the only reason we write songs and record them, and so that people can get familiar with them before they come to see the show. Now, what it is, how I can categorise it, it's a collection of songs that were written in 3 weeks over a period of time, and that's the only way you can categorise it. It's an album. It's a music album. If you think of an album in the sense of a photo album, if you have a photo album on your computer, you'll have a selection of shots that you'll download from your holiday with your mates or your family, or you'll have another section where you're at a wedding or at a party making a fool of yourself, or some shots that you'll take because there was a series of beautiful sunrises, and those are all different, those photographs in your album, and they used to be in the old days in a book album, in a paper album, and people would stick their photographs in there so they could look back and reflect on a time of their lives that was captured by these photographs. And that's exactly the same as it is with music. It's a moment of time in music, and in more definitive terms, you can't, I suppose you could look at the lyrics a little bit and focus a bit on that, whereas Bananas, the last record, was extremely political. This one's, the loose conceptual thread is spirituality throughout, and it deals with some big questions.
When you're looking at new music, you said 3 weeks. It seems an almost frighteningly short time to achieve such a big thing.
You won't write a good song in longer than a day.
Is that for real?
Oh, I've never written a good song that's taken longer a day. The best songs are written in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You capture it straight away.
So it's literally impulse.
well, it's taken you all your life to reach the ability,
Yeah.
and to develop the craft to be able to put together all those little elements of a song called songwriting, which are dealing with the percussive value of the words and the certain shape of a vowel on a high note, and all of those things which become second nature to you when you're writing. I mean, I've written about 400 songs, I think, and so you don't even think about that. It's the spirit, the inner core of a song, combined with the tune, whatever. It's those magic things that come together. Rarely, no matter how much you write. That's why you write as much as you can, so that you give more chance of these things happening. But now and again, when you focus particularly, you get a collection of ideas that makes some sense.
Ian Gillan, thank you so much.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.